Welcome to Crime in the City, where we tell the story from the streets to the courthouse. I'm Yvonne Taylor, former judge, prosecutor, criminal defense attorney, civil litigator, and adjunct law professor. I'm here with my podcast bestie, Natasha Sinclair. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Yvonne. I'm Natasha Sinclair, former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney. For over 20 years, I've practiced law in New York and Texas. Every Tuesday, we'll take a deep dive into cases that are unbelievable.
We'll take a look at the evidence, break down the legal strategies, and explore the unanswered questions. Okay, Natasha, let's get into it.
Yvonne, what city are you taking us to today?
So, Natasha, we are going to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas today.
Okay, Dallas in the house.
Yeah. So, Natasha, have you ever heard of a sextortion scheme?
No, that's a new one for me, Yvonne.
Okay,
That's
well.
new, but I'm sure you'll break it
Yeah,
down.
so let's
go.
buckle up.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
So these two young ladies, Ashley and Sierra, meet on Facebook. Sierra lives in a small town near Amarillo, Texas. She lives with an abusive stepfather who's a drunk, and finally she can't take it anymore, so she's 14, and she drops out of school and heads for the streets.
Wow. Oof.
Yeah.
Junior high school.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So she's on social media. This is all in 2017, right? So she's all on Facebook, and she sees this other young girl named Ashley. And Ashley is posting all of these pictures on Facebook of these fabulous vacations, money, purses, all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this gets her attention. So they connect on Facebook. So Ashley convinces Sierra to move to Dallas-Fort Worth, and she tells her, look, let's be roommates. We can hang out.
Wow. Okay. Just from meeting on Facebook.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So by now, they're both in their early 20s, like 21, 22, 23, right?
Okay.
So Sierra has been on the streets, so she's wise to the ways of the world, right? So she just assumes that Ashley is a stripper, and that's how they're going to make their money. She's okay with this lifestyle, and, let's do the thing.
Right. That's what we're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
So Sierra moves in with Ashley. Well, there's another young woman living there as well, and her name is Krista. And it turns out that there's a guy living with them also.
Of course. So yep. Okay.
His name is Payday.
Payday, Yvonne.
Payday.
Okay. Payday.
Yeah. Now,
I
Sierra,
don't like the sound of
no,
this.
no.
I already. Okay.
Right. So Sierra, Ashley, and Krista are, as I said, they're in their early 20s at this point, and Payday is a much older man.
Of course he is.
He has this arrangement where the three young women pay him rent, and their rent includes their meals and spa days. Yeah, so they can keep their grooming together, nails, hair,
yeah.
all the things. So
Okay.
you know what this is
yep.
supposed to be, right?
Absolutely.
Well, it turns out that they are not strippers.
Oh, okay.
So, Natasha, do you remember the website Backpage?
I do, Yvonne. Backpage got shut down by the feds in 2018. If you want a little bit of a backstory, I can give it to you if you want, right? And especially for our listeners. According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Michael Lacey, Scott Spear, and Jed Bernst owned Backpage. From September 2010 through its seizure by the United States, feds came in just like I told you, April of 2018, Backpage was the internet's leading forum for prostitution ads. Evidence at trial showed the conspirators knowingly promoted prostitution via various marketing strategies. For example, the co-conspirators engaged in a shared link program with an independent web forum that permitted Johns to post reviews of prostitution acts with specific women. Additionally, the conspirators used an automated filter and human moderators to remove terms known to indicate sex for money while still allowing the ads to be posted. Through this attempt to sanitize the ads, the conspirators sought plausible deniability for what the conspirators knew to be ads promoting prostitution. Over the life of the conspiracy, the conspirators earned more than $500 million.
Oh my God.
Yes. And in an effort to preserve the money earned, Lacey, Spear, and Bruntz laundered the money through numerous shell companies created in multiple foreign countries. So that's Backpage.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to say that was some boss maneuvering. I know it's dirty. I know it's a crime, but I'm telling you, that's some impressive criminal work.
And they managed to exist for 8 years.
For 8 years, and that's a hell of a lot of money they made.
$500 million.
Wow.
No pocket change.
Nope. Okay, so along with what Backpage was offering, Ashley would place these erotic massage ads on Backpage. And then at least 2 of them would show up on what they called calls. So they would meet up with these clients who responded to the ads. Now, before going on the call, they would look up the client on Facebook to see, see how they were living.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so once they got to the meetup location, they would confirm that the client wanted to have sex, and then they would act all outraged and insulted for being mistaken for prostitutes.
Okay, no.
And that's when the real scam would begin.
Okay.
They would threaten to tell the wife or the husband or the family or the employer or the police or just any and everybody that this person had been soliciting them for prostitution.
A little bit of blackmail.
Yep.
That's what we call blackmail.
Yep. Now, these 3 were really good at this. They would tell the client that they were recording him, and in some cases, they actually did record them at the meetups.
Okay.
So apparently, Payday was the one who had trained them, and he told them, get as much money as you can and say whatever you have to say to get it.
Wow. This is dangerous.
It is.
This is dangerous.
It is. It is. So according to the evidence at trial, they were making a couple of $1,000s a night, Natasha.
Wow.
And now think about it. They're in their early 20s, and they've got this hustle down, and they're making money doing it. And they don't really see the potential of how this could go wrong, right?
They can't see the danger they're placing themselves in. And I bet you when they're doing all of this and meeting up with these people, Payday's not there.
Right.
He's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, here's the other interesting thing. They really did run this like a business. They had a preferred method of payment, which was cash. But if the client couldn't pay in cash, they would have him go to stores and buy TVs and cell phones on his credit card. They would take purses and jewelry and shoes or any of the clothes that the client's wives or girlfriends had.
This is dangerous.
Yep. Yep. So they would just take whatever they could get. And they really thought of this as the perfect crime until it wasn't.
Nothing about this is perfect, right? I mean, nothing. No. You can, okay.
So, all right, fast forward to this one client that they meet. His name is Christopher Wall.
Okay.
Now, these events unfold in a matter of hours. I mean, literally less than 48 hours, all this goes down, okay? So Christopher Wall is the director of quality administration in this psychiatric hospital, right?
Okay.
And he's married and he has a teenage daughter. At the time, he and his family are living with his parents because they're building a house and it's under construction. So, nice life.
Right. I was just going to say that. Nice life.
Right.
You
nice
read
life.
my mind. Yeah. It seems like he's got a good job, building a home, a family.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Christopher was a regular on Backpage. He was a regular user.
Oh, dirty little secret.
Mm-hmm.
Ripe for some blackmail.
Right, exactly.
Ripe.
So he responds to an ad offering a 2-girl erotic massage. Well, who do you think responds?
The girls.
Our girls.
Of course.
Krista and Sierra. Now, Natasha, here is the crazy thing. He invites them to come to his place of employment.
At the hospital? At the psychiatric hospital,
At
Yvonne?
the psychiatric hospital. Yes, he does.
Okay. He may be suffering.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, sir, really?
Right.
At your workplace?
At your workplace. So what do? They show up at his workplace, come into his office. He pays them $400 and gets naked.
Okay.
But now, Natasha, I mean, he knew that they weren't there for a massage, right? They did not even bring a massage table.
Okay. They didn't even have a table.
Right.
Okay.
So come on now. Come on.
Right. You know what time it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
We know how this ends.
Exactly. So what do our girls do? They go through their routine. Oh, you think we're prostitutes? Well, if you don't give us more money, we'll open this office door and scream
What?
rape.
Oh, what?
And he's in his office naked. So what choice does he have?
Okay.
So he panics and says, okay, I'll pay you. He gets dressed and he leaves his office with them.
Okay.
So the three of them get in their little white Honda. He gets in the back seat and they drive to Wells Fargo.
Okay.
Now, Krista and Sierra go in the bank with him because they want to make sure he doesn't try anything funny, right? They want the money. So for some reason, he couldn't get the money at Wells Fargo, so they go to Chase Bank. And in fact, he ends up going to 3 different Chase banks. So he withdraws $300 from one, and then $4,000 at another Chase, and then
4,000.
Yes.
He must have went inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I'm like
Exactly.
4,000. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then another $2,600 at another bank.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right?
That is crazy.
But wait, there's more.
Of course, there always is.
Yes. So Krista and Sierra drop him off back at his job, and they are all excited. You know, they think they really hit the jackpot this time. So they text their girl Ashley, and Ashley texts them back and says, yeah, y'all's best call ever. Well, they can't leave well enough alone. Ashley convinces them to try to hit Christopher up for more money.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the next day, they tell him, we want more. And he says, okay, fine. So he meets them at another bank, it's a bank called First Financial Bank. Well, Ashley pulls up in a white Mercedes. Krista and Sierra pull up in the Honda, right? Okay. So Sierra stays in the car, and Ashley and Krista get in Christopher's car. Now, remember, they're young and they have no idea what they're really getting into.
Not a clue.
Nope. Okay, so after a few minutes, Sierra sees Krista get out of the car and starts walking off. The next thing she knows, Christopher gets out of the car and shoots Krista. Then he walks around to the other side of the car and shoots Ashley.
Wow.
And then runs over Krista as he's leaving the parking lot.
Oh, my.
Terrible.
Awful.
Terrible. Well, Sierra is in a panic now. So she slides over to the driver's seat and she just speeds off. She pulls into this gas station across the street. And after she sees Christopher drive away, she drives back to the bank. And who does she call?
Let me guess. Payday?
Calls Payday.
Of course.
Not 911.
No.
With her girls laying there in the parking lot dead. One of them crushed by the car.
Right.
Well, another bank customer pulls up and he sees these 2 dead bodies and he sees Sierra, so he runs over to help. Well, by now, there's chaos in the parking lot and the police get there. So they want to interview Sierra and they start asking her, who are these people? What's going on? What has happened? And what does she do at first?
Lie.
What does every defendant do first?
Lie.
Yep.
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them lie.
Almost all.
Yes. And especially in this kind of situation. I mean, she's calling Payday before she even calls 911 after someone's killed and run over her friends.
Yes. Yes. And it turns out while they're interviewing her, Payday's daughter starts texting her and tells her, don't tell the police anything. So this whole scam is...
They're going to find out.
Yes. You know, people...
I mean, you're leaving a mountain of evidence. Let's talk about it, right? You're texting, you're calling, you're showing up at the man's job. You're going to banks where they are known to have cameras. Okay, I mean, let's think about this. I mean, really?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So finally, Sierra breaks down and tells the police everything. Well, since she wasn't the shooter, what do? They
let her go.
Yeah, they let her go.
Yeah, no, she's been traumatized.
Right. And you know, the scam that they're running pales in comparison to
a double homicide.
Homicide.
You absolutely right.
Right.
You absolutely right.
So now they know it's Christopher Wall, so they go to his house to arrest him. Now at first he denies everything. Then he finally told them what was happening, how Krista had the ad, and she saw this ad on Backpage and all the things.
Right.
Well, ultimately, they charge him with capital murder.
Wow.
So at the trial, he testifies.
A non-death, wait, hold on, let me back up. A non-death capital, or is the state seeking death?
So it's a non-death capital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in Texas, we have a non-death capital as well as the true capital murder where they are seeking death.
Exactly.
And it's exactly like it sounds.
Exactly. So at trial, he testifies that everything happened so fast, he didn't mean to kill them.
Oh, no.
Then he says, well...
Come on, Mr. Wall.
Right.
Come on now.
Right. Then he says, well, yeah, I did sort of mean to kill them, and I had my reasons.
Yep. But let's see if they're sufficient to overcome responsibility for killing 2 women.
Right.
And running them over. Ran over one. Oh, okay.
So he testifies, Natasha, which we'll get to that in a minute because that's very rare for a defendant to testify.
Is.
So
especially in a capital murder.
Right. It's high risk. So he says that, yes, he shot them. And after the shooting, he drove home, circled the block 2 or 3 times, then drove to a gas station that had a car wash and went through the car wash because he wanted to hide himself.
No.
To clear his mind.
He wanted to wash that evidence off of his vehicle.
Hello.
Mr. Wall, stop it.
Come on. So then he said when he got home from the car wash, he parked the car in the driveway, walked out into a field and put the gun under some kind of plastic tarp. And then, get this now, he walked back home, went in the house, and started talking to his father about a football game.
What?
He sounds a little psycho.
Yeah, he may have needed some, help at that hospital
where he was worked.
He
might have needed to be a patient there.
And instead of whatever title he had.
Exactly.
No, seriously. I mean,
Exactly. And I'm not making light of mental health issues at all. I mean,
Absolutely
I
not.
believe this man
There's
may
something wrong here.
Right.
I mean, he has a perfect family life, right?
Right.
Or at least it seems that way.
Right.
He's got a daughter, he's building a home, he's got a good job, yet he's trolling Backpage for prostitutes.
Right.
What's
Something's not adding up.
Right. There's something's going on.
There's a disconnect.
Right. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it is, but I know that there's something going wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. So now get this. He also testified that Krista, Ashley, and Sierra had threatened him and said that they knew where he lived and that they would go to his house if he wouldn't pay them. And then they said they would pimp out his daughter because they knew men that liked 14-year-old girls.
Oh, wow.
Now, but he never said this in the interview. He did not say any of this until he testified at trial.
Oh, so this is a new revelation for the jurors.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Because that doesn't even sound like the type of threat they would make. It really does.
They don't sound smart enough to do that. Not
doesn't.
criminal enough.
No,
to
and
come up with
they
that.
weren't really prostitutes.
No.
So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But interesting. That's interesting.
Exactly. And then he ended up letting his daughter go to a birthday party while all this was going down. So clearly he was not afraid that someone was going to snatch her and try to traffic her. So that just completely discredited that part of the testimony.
Yeah.
So let me read a little bit of his trial transcript, Natasha.
Okay.
Because I found this part just fascinating, and it goes to what we were talking about as to whether or not he may have had some mental health issues. So he testified, and this is his statement. And in my mind, I don't feel like I'm not like a cold-blooded killer. Then the prosecutor asked him, because this is on cross, do you feel like you're the victim in this case? He says, I am a victim in this case. Then the prosecutor asked him, but the true victims are the two people that you killed? And he says, I disagree with that. Prosecutor says, they're not victims? And he says, not in the sense that you're trying to portray them as, no.
They deserve killing.
Kind of like what he's saying, Natasha.
I see his defense. I've lived in Texas long enough to where you've heard that type of defense.
Yeah.
They deserve killing.
Exactly.
And sometimes, let's be honest, it works.
It does.
It works.
It does.
It's not, I can already see it's not going work here. It's too much, sir. It's too much for what it was.
Exactly.
And you're doing too much.
You're doing the most.
Right. You're
Right.
doing too much.
And so, Natasha, what do you think about defendants testifying? Because we all know that defendants do not have to testify, and most of the time they don't.
Right. Yeah. No, in my 20 plus years of experience on both sides, prosecution and the defense, they rarely do. I mean, let's be honest. In pretrial negotiations through defense attorney, you've heard the defendant's version of events. If you believed it as a prosecutor, you would not be there at a trial sitting, right? So that case goes away. Right? Obviously, you've heard the story and you say, BS.
Right, exactly.
I mean, we hear a lot, and let's be honest, we hear a lot of BS just like this.
Exactly.
The story keeps changing.
Exactly.
Never mentions, oh, they were going to prostitute my daughter. Well, that should have been the first thing out of your mouth.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, it's rare. Let me just answer your original question. It's in my experience, it's rare.
It's very rare. And
rare.
Many times defendants don't testify because of two reasons. One, it opens the door for the prosecutor to ask them about a lot of things that they've done that might not necessarily have come into evidence at the trial. You could only get that kind of information from the defendant. And then number two, everyone doesn't make a great witness.
Yeah,
So
correct.
sometimes you want to protect, as a defense attorney, you're protecting your client because they don't come across as a great witness.
And they're usually bringing baggage, like
Right.
criminal history.
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and you get up there, and now now the jurors know you're a convicted felon. Now I know Mr. Wall wasn't,
Right.
okay, but Most of the time in the criminal justice system, especially when we're talking about capital murder,
Right.
okay, the defendant has some baggage.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In the state, this is a non-death, but even to charge capital murder, you're going to have significant evidence of the defendant's guilt.
Right.
I mean, significant.
Exactly.
It's what we call in the industry a whale.
Exactly. A whale.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is very interesting. So he gets convicted life without the possibility of parole. So he appeals, and a big part of his appeal is that basically I didn't mean to do it.
No, sir. No, sir. Sir, you bought the gun with you, loaded, got out of your car, shot the girl, then kept walking. I mean, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Right. Which is why.
Sir, come on, sir. And then you ran the girl over.
Exactly. Which is why the sentence was upheld. Life without parole.
Yeah.
So he's still there.
Yeah, no, come on now. I knew it wasn't good. Let me say this. When he testified, I knew it wasn't going to work. I want to just talk for a minute, if we could, about extortion versus blackmail. Texas extortion law charges the crime as theft. Extortion occurs when an individual gains property or money by some type of force or threat of violence, property damage, harm to reputation, or unfavorable government action. Blackmail is a certain type of extortion that involves threatening to reveal embarrassing or damaging information unless the person pays. In many jurisdictions, and in Texas, blackmail is covered under the broader extortion law. So just a little bit of law for our listeners.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll leave it right there, Natasha.
Okay, Yvonne, that's it. Find us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a comment on Instagram or Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Natasha Sinclair.
And I'm Yvonne Taylor.